decide after taking an American history class that I will learn how to swim because my ancestors didn't know how. I watch as my classmates file out of the room, a cacophony of dings erupt from their cell phones. Everyone's back to their own histories. I go to the local YMCA looking for a class on swimming, and when the pretty white girl at the counter encounters me, she says, "The class is for beginners." I don't know how to tell her that I am a beginner, that I am just now realizing that I don't know how to swim, that I have had low to no contact with large bodies of water, that I am a body of water. But the pretty white girl adjusts her ponytail, and she says, "The class is mostly kids." I tell her that I'm actually grateful for that. According to a 2019 article from the International Journal of Aquatic Research and Education, a systemic exclusion from public pools and other forms of water activities has led to a lack of cultural capital involving aquatics among Black families, resulting in Black children between the ages of 4 and 15 being 2.6 times more likely to drown than white children. This modern form of segregation stretches its roots back to when my ancestors were put on ships with the only escape being death. Now, Black folks must face the dead every time we see our reflections in the water. If More of Us Were Sirens, by Alex Terrell. I go to the local sporting goods store to see if I can find arm floaties. I scour the aisles looking for anything that could possibly fit me. I'm a Goldie Sista Locks looking for porridge. Okay. I scour the aisles looking for anything, but none of them fit my very adult arms. I stop a passing by employee and I ask him if they make fins for adults. He kind of looks at me funny, and I joke that I have not yet figured out how to grow my own. He doesn't laugh. At home, I fasten myself to the worn-down couch, and as I am flipping through channels on the television, I come across a documentary on the megalodon, another thing, like my ancestors, forgotten under the sea. I learned that it was a prehistoric great white shark, that I could stand in its mouth 4 times and still have room to move my floatyless arms. As I watch the woman in the documentary talk about its size, I think back to my American history class, to the day when my teacher showed the class a map of the Middle Passage trade routes. And it is only when the woman holds up a replica of the megalodon's tooth that I realize it's shaped like the Middle Passage. I realized from this that my lineage has been in 2 ancient white mouths. I do wonder where my ancestral home is sometimes. I mean, I definitely never thought of it being under the sea. I wonder if my ancestors, the ones who were never found, are having tea in little chipped teacups, swimming among set trees of shipwrecks, singing with a little Jamaican red crab. I imagine that they must have swam back up to the surface after going overboard, only to realize that they preferred the crushing weight of the sea. They must have known that, unlike those folks who put them in chains, the sea harbored no ill will towards them. They were as inconsequential to the sea as its lowest form of life. At the first swim class, parents bring bags of snacks for their children, and a mom offers me a cheese stick. I tell her that my mama told me never to swim after eating. But mama also never learned how to swim, so I took it. She, like my ancestors, would have inhaled the ocean, drank up all the fish, the boats, the water, the bodies, like some kind of thirsty goddess. She would have seen that she was not buoyant enough to float, but not heavy enough to be weighed down her fear either, if that makes sense. The instructor tells us to get in, and when I step into the water, I wonder if the fear that I feel is more or less than that of my ancestors. I wiggle my toes. I let my arms flutter above my head. I let the water take me. I capsize in chlorine. And suddenly, there is the crushing weight of the ocean. Even though I'm just in a swimming pool, I crane my neck up, hoping that I'll see sunlight peeking through the surface of the water, but I see bodies. Bodies floating down like chunks of coral detached from their ecosystems. And there, the megalodon opens its mouth, and I am enclosed in a ring of white teeth. Under my feet, I no longer feel the tile, and water surrounds me for miles, and I wonder if this was what it was like to be in my mother's womb. Suspended in her, a harbinger, a parasite in its last life cycle. The bodies are overwhelming now, and my vision blurs at the edges of the world, and I can't breathe. But I feel my body fighting, and there's this prickling sting right behind my ears on either side of my head, and I take a breath under the water. Gills. I guess I'm a real mermaid now. My legs, might they fuse into a fin? You know, I never actually thought of myself as a mermaid. Don't tell anyone, but I actually kind of hate sirens. From the surface of the water, I think I hear the lifeguard say, "Stand up, you're in the 3 feet." I crane up, cresting like it's a birth. And from the depths I hear, "Come," my ancestors sing. It's all love down here.